Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by ThinkGeek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 360. Still Got Game is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I forgot who I am because it's been so long.
Joel Dude I Rock Albert, welcome back. You've been gone so long.
Yeah, what do we do? What do we do here? How does this work?
What we do is we talk about video games, and then people say, thanks for talking about video games, guys. That was awesome. And then
I remember. Okay, yeah. Sure.
Pretty much the same week after week. I think, I'm looking here. It looks like you've been gone 6 weeks.
Really?
So, yeah.
Jesus. Wow.
Between missed show weeks and weeks that just Hid and I did shows and everything else. So, yeah, that's probably your longest hiatus since you became the actual full-time host.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of stuff going on.
You did.
A lot of things going on.
Yeah,
but I'm back.
As you can see behind him, he's got a new locale.
Studio.
Yes. The third time in 2 years now.
Yeah. I like to move. I like to move and shake.
Yes, he's a mover and a shaker. All right. Well, I guess on that, we'll just hop over into the show proper, and we'll start off with feedback from last week's show. Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Sarah11595 comments. Thanks for using my comment on your last show. You have no idea how good it was to see a new episode show up in my feed. All right. Well,
I wouldn't know what that's like, but yeah, it's amazing.
Well, after the time she left that, we did miss another show.
Oh, okay.
So we missed last week.
That's the best part is that, like, I've been gone so long, I don't even know when you've missed things either. Like, I don't even know. The show could have been going, it could have not. I have no idea. But I have no clue.
Yes. Yeah. But we're glad we're back again now, Sarah, and we'll be back next week with the same lineup. In case none of you know, Tiffany Electrify Nolan is producing today in Hitman's absence. He's out on that cruise he was talking about. So we are using a skeleton crew here, but Tiff seems to be producing pro. I see the stream over there, and I see background switching, and things look pretty good. Yeah.
Pro shit's happening.
Pro as fuck. So we will be back with the same crew next week, and then after that, I can't tell you for sure because I know we got a lot of crazy stuff going on. But all right, next burnt bagel comments. Slip, slop, slap. Your show is great, mates. Love it. I'm not.
The fuck does that mean?
I maybe it's a local thing, like
we did say mates. We said mates though. Maybe he's like British or something.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's like a thing. Slip, slop, plate, mate. Yeah. I gotta look that up. I'm looking that up.
Yeah, that does sound like a British thing.
Slip, could be like a saying. Oh my god, it is.
Oh, what is it? Tell us.
What the fuck is this? It's in Wikipedia. It's a part of a campaign for what? For clothing? What the fuck?
Slip, slop, slap.
It's a health campaign from Australia and New Zealand. I have no idea what the fuck.
Oh, Australia. That means I should have read it. Slip, slop, slap. Your show's great, mates.
Oh, no. But here, Urban Dictionary, having sex with a more morbidly obese woman. That's fucking baller.
Okay.
Oh, let's go with that one.
All right.
Fantastic.
Well, Burt Bagel, we learned something new tonight, and we appreciate that. And we think that your comment is positive.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And for that, we appreciate you. All right. Last but not least, Savage Pone comments. Is Dude I Rock ever coming back? Not that I don't like the Hitman episodes, because I do. Just looking forward to hearing him and D-Smooth talk over and interrupt each other like usual.
And that's one of our most charming qualities, is not being able to get thoughts out, because the other guy wants to also get the same thought out at the same time.
Both being massive type A personalities and sharing the same basic brain process. Like, we always want to say the same shit at the same time.
Yeah.
For the most part.
It makes for some really great arguments that literally are just I agree. I agree more.
High fives. Yes. And then let's have a drink. Yes.
It's a circle jerk for an hour is what this show really is.
Yep. Yeah. It works out really nice. But excellent. All right. Well, thank you for that comment, Savage Bone. He's back. So now you got what you wished for. You can't complain. If any of you have awesome feedback like Sarah 11595, Burnt Bagel, or Savage Pone, give us a call 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Joel, Dude, I Rock, Albert, have you been playing anything these last 6 weeks?
Well, I had a lot of stuff going on, so not too much gaming, but I still play Overwatch every day. So I play Overwatch every day and a little bit of Zelda on the side. So it's either Zelda or Overwatch right now.
Yeah, I see you
That's
do
where
a
I'm
lot of Overwatch streaming. I will watch some of your shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did some. That was for LB to show him how to correctly play Mercy. No, for Taxi to show him how to correctly play
It was
Mercy in the Diamond rank. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I've been
'Cause I'm
doing.
pro.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
These guys can learn something from you. Yeah. Well, I've been playing, for the most part, Destiny almost every week for the raids. We're just redoing them, doing the challenges, all that fun stuff. So bang it out quick. We did decide to skip last week because that was bullshit. But the challenges were fun. It was good to come back for it. I've been playing a bunch of Quake Champions, which is in beta, and now it's the beta NDA is lifted, so I've been streaming it the last couple nights. And,
is it any good?
It is fast as fuck.
Also, it's like old school Quake.
Oh, it is like old school Quake, and now it's like Quake meets Overwatch. I don't know if you know anything about it. So there's different champions now, and they each have different...
I did see something about that. Yeah, so you get the abilities of... Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been playing mainly the Space Marine, whose ability is... once it's charged up, you hit the F, and it launches out this little electrical ball. If it hits someone, then it does damage and kills them. But if it doesn't, and then you hit F again, wherever it is in its path, like it'll just travel forward as far as it can go until it hits something or blows up. And if you hit F again, then you teleport to its new location. So
it's a cool ability.
Kind of a cool ability. I've been trying to master that. I still feel like there's a little bit of cheating going on. It's either guys are really, really fucking good with the sniper rifle and my PC FPS skills have just waned a little bit, but a lot of it seems like bullshit. But it's still super fun. It's such a fast game. Tiff and I played it back at PAX East, and it was great there, and it's good to get back in it. But I think the beta goes for another week or two, and then that comes out fairly soon. But it is definitely the best parts of Quake mixed with the class champion type things from Overwatch and all these other games, and it's a good time. All right. Oh, and also I play Pokemon Go when I'm outside.
God. I played Pokemon Go this weekend.
Oh, you did?
Because I was taking care of my brother's kids, and they were in the park, and they wanted to see if there were Pokemon in the park. So I brought it out, and man, it's been so. I haven't played it since it got released.
Must got all kinds of new shit.
Well, I didn't even know the interface is all they changed all this shit, and it's definitely a much smoother game than it was when it came out, and even the interface and how you play is a little bit better. So it's still a shitty game, but it's a lot better than it was.
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I played it.
Joel Dude I Rock Albert says it's a shitty game, but it's better than it was.
Yeah,
one star.
Review.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over into the new releases? And there's only one major new release out this week. The only new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it's Injustice 2, and this is out for the Xbox One and the PS4. This is Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, or WBIE, to make it nice and short and sweet. It's their follow-up to 2013's popular Injustice Gods Among Us. This, like its predecessor, was developed by NetherRealm Studios, who do a great job with these games. Gameplay is much like the last game, but this time they've added this RPG-esque loot drop system to the game. So you basically get new costume pieces for your characters, as well as some equipment that you can use to modify their abilities or their stats or whatever. As you play through the game. The game includes a slew of new playable characters, I think about 19 of them, and there's more coming via DLC in the future. There's no early review scores out for this yet, but it looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm going to assume this should score even better than the last game, which scored in the low 8s. So I don't know. We played the shit out of this game we picked up, it was called at the time, Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. and that was the game and all the DLC. We picked that up on the PlayStation 4, and we've played that with all the kids. Were days where everybody was just taking turns beating down each other. It's a great, but you can either button mash or you can play it for real fighting game, and they're fun. It's fun the story mode is great in these games, where they actually follow a comic storyline for the most part. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I don't know. You hate fighting games.
Yeah, I don't hate them. I just don't ever play them. But I will say, like, some of the cinematic stuff and like the finishing moves and all those other things are so badass. I saw I've been seeing them come up in Reddit because they're so cool.
Nice.
Like they've actually surfaced in Reddit as like holy shit, can you believe you can do this? The Flash ones, every one of the Flash ones is really dope.
Yep.
Like those are so it's got some dope stuff in it. I just don't play fighting games, but it looks like to be one of the better fighting games that I think that have come out. That is in like I think Injustice did fairly well when it first came out, right? Like people liked it. So
yeah,
obviously there's a desire for this game and people enjoy playing it. So,
Yeah, I had never played fighting. Like the only time I ever played fighting games was when we did the LANs and we would like sit in your place and everybody would pass the controller and play.
Yeah.
That's when it's fun. So
that's when it's fun.
So I had no interest in playing, but then there was one day that Tiff and I and all the kids were sitting around and it was like on some super sale on the PlayStation. And we're like, you know what? Everybody's sitting around. They just want to pound on each other for a while. And sure enough, that became like a weekend activity for weeks and weeks where everybody just played and beat the shit out of each other. So
yeah, I would pay $20 for pretty much any fighting game. Like that's the way I feel about fighting games is they're all at a level, generally speaking, where if I'm going to spend the money, it's like $20. I feel I'm going to get exactly what I want out of it. It could be any fighting game. Really.
Once that price cut comes, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? First story! Overwatch becomes a billion-dollar franchise, mostly because of Dude I Rock. Overwatch has become the $8 billion franchise for Activision Blizzard's exclusive and extensive portfolio, joining other big hitters like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and the now shitty Skylanders that no one buys anymore. The achievement became all the more notable when you consider that Overwatch hasn't even been on the shelves for more than 12 months, with the game launching just under a year ago on May 24th, 2016. Activision Blizzard broke the news in its latest set of financials, where it revealed the vibrant hero shooter is also the fastest growing new franchise and currently has, believe it or not, 30 million registered players around the globe. It's huge. And this, keep in mind, what amazes me about this story is this is their failed MMO that they just scrapped together to try to salvage 6 years of work and just was like, I hope they like this. And can you imagine? Blizzard is so good at making video games that even when they shit out a turd, they feel like we couldn't figure it out, so we'll just do this. It still has 30 million people playing it. Like, that's how good of a studio that they are. It's nuts. And yeah, I remember when Titan was in development and everybody was excited for it. And then when they said they were scrapping it, it was this huge bad news thing. And then not a lot of companies can take all that the story and the assets and everything and then like twist them up and come out with some completely different out of them. And that's exactly what they did. And they fucking hit it out of the park. It's crazy. I got to say too, like to me, the biggest thing with this game, and again, obviously you guys all know that I'm a big fan and I'm a player, but I think there had been a lull since really Halo and maybe Call of Duty. Well, not to my extent, but I know a lot of people would consider Call of Duty the most successful FPS of all time. But for me, like there was this thought that no one could build another FPS anymore. Like you couldn't just build an FPS. You had to do all these other things because the genre of FPS was pretty much dead and gone. Like you'd never have a successful FPS anymore. And you saw that from declining sales and Halo's declining sales and even Call of Duty's declining sales. And it was really hard to make an FPS that people were interested in doing where the sole purpose is just to play around. Like there's nothing else behind it. Yep. And for a company to come back and do something like this and really blow it even further out of the park is totally mind-blowing. I mean, it really is an unbelievable success story when you consider the genre and where it's been for the past 5-10 years even. Yeah. So much so I have two copies that I play. I have a Smurf account that I play to keep my rank low. And then I'm doing the stuff that I did when I played Halo and I had multiple accounts. I have multiple accounts just to play Overwatch. So like
Yeah, I mean, I love it. It's like it fulfills competitive nature, and then that I have, and then at the same time, because it is a quick game, I can play 2-3 games and leave. But I don't. That's what makes it a successful game. Is in my head, I'm like, I'll play 2-3 games. I'll go to bed at 10:30, and then it's 3:30 in the morning, and I've been playing for 5 hours. Yep. So yeah, great game.
I've been playing the shit out of it lately too. Actually, I probably should have been on my list this week because I actually did play this week. But yeah, I love it. It's good stuff, and I stream the shit out of that all the time on our Tool to Play channel, my channel.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, Electrify brings up the great point, which is that Titanfall, which I own too, and I think is an amazing FPS. It just goes to show that even having a great FPS isn't really enough anymore. Because I do consider Titanfall 2 one of the best FPSs of this year, and might have even been the best FPS of this year had Overwatch not come around. And it's a shame because there's really nothing wrong with Titanfall 2. Nothing.
Yeah. That campaign was the most fun I've had in a campaign since Portal, really. Yeah,
and people like Tiff is saying, people got mad that it was multiplayer only.
Yeah, well, that's why with 2 they were like, we got to put in a everybody thought they were going to phone in the campaign for 2 because after 1 was multiplayer only, they had to come up with something, and what they did was actually probably one of the best single player campaigns done in a first person shooter outside of Portal, because it's not really a shooter. But
it's not a shooter. Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's really one of the best I've ever played.
Yeah. But so yeah, I don't know. It's just whatever the special sauce is that makes people go fanatic over games. Titanfall 2 didn't have it, which I do find odd because it was an amazing game. Yep. But Overwatch does, and it has it in spades. So there you go.
Agreed.
All right. Next story: Destiny 2 on PC will have meaningful features, quote unquote meaningful. So during a post-earnings conference call, which is the call we just referenced in the previous story, Activision reiterated that it's emphasizing a steady stream of content for Destiny 2, which was a source of complaints from its predecessor. The 6 months waiting for something to happen. Apparently that's not going to happen anymore. Quote, Destiny's engagement has been the best in Activision's history. Activision CEO Eric Hirschberg said, we now have a lot of confidence that we're going to be able to keep up with the demand with a steady stream of content and sort of keep up with the pace of our players' engagement post-release of Destiny 2. And I love that he says that. As you know, with Destiny 2 content, we're coupling Bungie's great vision leadership with multiple AAA developers that have a proven track record here at Activision to help us make sure we have just one great piece of content after another to keep the community engaged. He also briefly referenced the PC version, stating, quote, we're committed to delivering meaningful features, whatever the fuck that means, that are bespoke for the PC community. Beyond that, he didn't want to share much ahead of the game's big reveal, which, if you guys are setting your calendar, is only in a few days on May 18th.
Yep, Thursday. I think this is good news. I think that bringing Destiny to PC kind of gives it a credo that it didn't have before.
It's the credibility factor. Yeah.
Like I have buddies at work that are only PC gamers, and there's a whole gamers group mailing list at work that's 90% PC gamers, and they're from all across the country. And these guys, when I'm playing Destiny, oh yeah, that's console game. So instantly it gains that credibility now, saying, okay, it's on everything. You can play it too. You'll see why everybody loved it on consoles. And I'm hoping for the best.
I feel like it can't lose in this, and I hate saying that, but so PC gamers are more apt to do the MMO thing. Everyone just knows that, right? Because I'm one of them. This will finally introduce PC gamers to that rating piece that I think they're just going to gravitate to even more so than console gamers will. And it'll really just open it up to a whole new group of people. But then on top of that, because it is a PC, and again, meaningful literally could mean anything. I think Deepen has the best quote right here in chat, which is achievements and stickers. It could mean jack shit. It could just be okay, they can do these 2 other things that you can't do on console. But just that ability to be able to connect the PC world back with the console, that's a huge step in the right direction for them. I will absolutely own both copies. So they're already getting double booked from me from my end. It's going to happen because I love that I can make this powerful machine do way more than a console could do. So like for me, it's just amazing news. But I think just for the whole gaming world, it's a no-brainer, man. Like PC now has a real foothold in gaming again. And it's great to see that they actually notice that and they're building stuff for PC. That's huge to me. Huge.
Yeah. Well, I feel like even though graphics cards are still super expensive, I feel like they're not as expensive as they once were to get the highest of high ends. Like, my 1080 was 500 something bucks. It's no longer the days of you need the top end, and that was the top end card at the time. It's no longer a $900 or $1,000 video card that you need to go SLI to even do it.
Right.
No, you can start with one for 500 something bucks and you're good to go.
And you are light years away from an Xbox One. I mean, I would argue that no one needs a 1080. That is like pointless on almost every spectrum of the imagination. A 1070 will do so much that it is already 20 times more powerful than your Xbox One. And that you're only going to spend like $300, $250 for. So it's like you can get in the PC world for next to nothing now and still have a machine that does all the other things that a PC can do that obviously, a console can't. It's kind of a no-brainer right now. Like we're at a really awesome time where if you want to be a PC gamer, you can, and you don't absolutely, have to sell a card in order to do so. And we're almost at an inflection point where I don't know what the price is going to be of the new Xbox, but I think it's going to be close enough to what you would also spend to get a rig that's probably better or not equal to that new console. So we're leveling off, we're coming to a point where cost is no longer, the differentiator between the two. It's just style of play. Do you want to sit on a couch or do you want to sit at your desk? And that's it. The peripherals that you use is going to be really the only differentiator between the two. So I think it's really cool.
For Christmas, we got our boys basically the lowest end into the 10XX spectrum you could go. So we got them PCs with 1050 Ti cards in them, not beast machines, but enough to play games on fucking high settings, and even that works at granted not 4K but 1080p, and those things were like $500-600. That's about the price range we're looking for the Scorpio, and that thing is legit 4K. So not bad at all.
Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, and as long as you can get to that 4K resolution, I mean, obviously, a 1080 at 4K is going to still shit on the new Xbox that comes out. I mean, it will be still marginally better, but to a point where it won't be noticeable, especially if you're playing it on a 70-inch screen. That's the big difference between the two. You can obviously take your PC into your living room if you really want to do that. I mean, I don't really see the point, but that to me is what is the comfort level and how do you want to play your games? That's really going to be the question that you want to ask more than anything else. So to have Destiny on all of them. Now, if they did play anywhere, I would literally fucking explode and cry like a girl. And it would be. I know that won't happen, but
it's only because it's
because Sony,
they're in bed with Sony, and
so it would be too much of a benefit for Microsoft to do that, which is unfortunate. But I think we're going to get closer to that as more and more games release. So. When
we finally get to Halo 6, I'm telling you, that's going to be our first Halo Play Anywhere game, and you're going to be able to play cross-platform from PC to Scorpio, and it's going to be baller. But it's coming. Just wait, guys.
It's coming.
We promise you.
I mean, they're already talking about mouse and keyboard support finally coming to the to Xbox fully, and being able to support that on new titles. When that happens, there's no difference anymore. You've literally that's it. It's now a PC. You're all playing PC. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. All right, next story.
Oh, this one's a doozy. So I don't know if you guys have played Smite. It's like a MOBA, kind of arena MOBA, half shooter. But Smite is adding Bob Ross, yes, the painter Bob Ross, as a paint throwing playable character in Smite. So Bob Ross is about to do battle with the gods. The Joy of Painting host, known for his soft voice and permed afro and happy little trees, is coming to Hi-Rez Studios' mythology-themed MOBA Smite later this month as a character skin for Sylvanas. It's crazy. Although The Joy of Painting aired in the 80s and early 90s, Ross himself died of lymphoma in 1998. The laid-back artist is enjoying a second round of fame in the gaming world community thanks to Twitch. The live streaming service hosted a marathon of his shows 2 years ago during the launch of Twitch Creative, and it was so successful that Twitch launched the Bob Ross Mondays a month later, which I don't know. Are those still going on? I don't even know if they are. Go check that out. Hi-Res Studios showed off the Bob Ross skin during a patch preview last week. Ross, in all of his afro and flippy-flop glory, rides atop Sylvanas' Treant Grover and paints the landscape during the match. While in combat, he launches the paint at his enemies and summons happy little trees and clouds. This is so fucked up. The skin also includes voiceovers with some of Ross's signature mellow catchphrases, such as, "Gotta give him a friend. Everyone needs a friend." Other Bob Ross cosmetic items like the loading frame and paint splatter jump stamp will also be available as part of a bundle. Of course, they're going to sell it to you. Each one was created in close partnership with Twitch and the Bob Ross estate. The bundle will become available on May 9th on PC and Mac and be available for the console on the 16th. It will cost 700 in-game gems, or as we like to call it, $10 on Twitch Commerce.
Wow.
So what do you think?
I thought it was weird years ago when they did the Bob Ross thing, because I don't know how I missed out on Bob Ross, but once I got to college, all of a sudden I was at this party and I went to the back room and there was like 30 people in there ripping bong hits watching Bob Ross on TV. And he's so mellow and he's, "Oh, I'm going to paint a happy little tree. Yeah. Oh, got to give him a friend." And then adds another one. Like, Bob Ross is literally the opposite of any sort of fighting that could possibly happen.
Right.
So,
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's a hippie, right?
Yeah.
He's essentially a hippie.
Yeah,
he wants to cause no pain.
No, which just makes this insane. Like, Bob Ross is like the new icon for this generation, I guess. But it's nuts. It's cool. Like, granted, and the Bob Ross estate probably loves this because all they were doing was
totally right.
Yes, they're like,
yeah,
PBS pays us $2 an episode, and that's what they can afford. But you're going to pay us like, oh, you want to make a character? Oh, you're going to give us that much money? That's crazy. But
well, and like this is going to make a ton of money. Like anyone that plays Smite, and I don't know how big their player base is. I'm sure it's not huge, let's say, but it's big enough that I would suspect if anyone's ever spent money playing a Smite game, they're likely to spend money on this. It's one of those no-brainer purchases that day one when it gets released, you're just going to have everyone trying to be Sylvanas and everyone have the skin. So it's going to be it's going to be pretty interesting.
No, it's crazy.
Yep. Derek, what do you think about the story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails, aka Altius's Corner. Blue Steel asks, how do you think the new Windows Sonic for headsets will affect headset companies? Now, are you familiar with what this is, Jay?
Yeah, I am, and I don't think it will affect it at all.
I don't either. I think it's more of like the low-level Band-Aid for people that don't have a good headset.
That's correct. Yes.
It's like what's the fake when it wasn't real Dolby and it was when it wasn't like AC1 or DTS, it was like the Dolby Stereo, and it was the simulated the simulated stuff versus the real stuff. And I feel like that's what this is.
Yeah. So if you've read into it, and I've looked at it a little bit too earlier, like last week, it's like on the low end, which is what it's really meant for. On the low end, most people can't even notice it. They don't even notice that it's better on the low end, which that's the end of the spectrum where you would want it to have the most amount of change, obviously, because if not, you're going to
without headsets.
Yeah, you're going to spend $300 on a headset. You're going to get what you wanted out of that headset anyway. So for me, like as a headset manufacturer, who normally all of them are looking in that $100 to $400 price range, it literally affects nothing. Like it is. If you want the quality headset, you're still going to go out. You're going to spend the money on the quality headset. Yeah. I haven't tried it. Everyone's got it. If you've got a Windows 10 machine, you can try it right now on your PC. I was going to actually try it later today, but from what I heard, it's just you right click on your little icon, you select it, and it's no difference. Most people say it's no difference. And because of that reason, I just don't see it hurting the market at all. I mean, there's nothing there that suggests that it's going to take the place of your $300 Astros,
No,
So.
exactly. I was meaning to try it too this weekend. I completely spaced, but I'm going to pull my headphones out of my mix amp for my A40s, plug them directly into the PC, and I'm going to turn it on and see what kind of difference I notice. Because like playing Quake 4 Champions sounds amazing, and the surround is actually it's one of those games where it's really fucking helpful. Like you can kind of audibly decide where people are coming from before you know where they're coming from. So I feel like if I'm feeling that advantage now playing through the mix amp, it'll definitely be interesting to see how that plays out with the simulated stuff. But I'll give it a try too this week.
Yeah, and I know Blue's saying that that the headset companies are doing it too, but it's still different. Like they're doing all of this in software, whereas the headsets, obviously a lot of that's being done through hardware and through software but so the level of quality that you're going to get on a $300 headset for doing that simulated surround, I would say is still going to be markedly better. But then on top of that, the whole thing is you don't just buy that headset for sound. I mean, obviously that's a big reason, but part of it too is just how it's constructed, if it's wireless, all of the other things that go along with why you spend money on a headset. And obviously branding, believe it or not, it's a big deal. Buying a pair of Astros is I would say 60% brand, and then the rest of it's just the actual hardware. I just don't see it. Like for me, I don't own an expensive pair. I've never bought a pair of Astros. I've never owned expensive headsets ever. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't stop me from buying those expensive headsets in the first place. It's not enough for me to be like, oh, I don't need them. It's just, I don't want them.
No, it's a nice twist for someone that hasn't spent the money.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And maybe that would work on someone. I don't know. But from everything I've heard, it's almost no one really even notices the difference. And if you can't notice the difference, then, what's the difference between that and buying a pair of $300 Astros anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
I think most of that's brand, to be quite honest with you. But,
Well, I don't know. I used all these headsets, and Deep's asking in chat if we were talking about the new Xbox wireless headset, which it's not on our agenda, but we can talk about it. Lucid Sound announced their newest model, which is the full surround, and it no longer requires. So previously, Lucid Sound, you plugged a dongle into one of the USB ports into your Xbox, and you took an optical cable from that dongle back to the optical port, and that's what sent you the shit to your thing. And finally, they've made a deal with Xbox where it's all native, and there's no chat cable anymore or anything. You just you pop this headset on, pair it up to the Xbox, and you're good to go, and you got the full surround. And I will say I may use Astros most of the time for what I do, but the Lucid Sound headsets are the best sounding headsets I've ever used on ever anywhere. So the fact that this guy's coming out by the end of the year, this should be on everybody's list to pick up, because now that it's got that full support, you can't go wrong.
See, and again, I think that's what the consumer's looking to purchase more than for me. It's always been the convenience, the wire, like things like that. Plus, you get the great sound. Obviously, that's part of it. But as a whole package, like the idea that I can buy a pair of Lucents and then just connect directly to my Xbox and have an amazing headset is 80% of the reason I would buy that. So,
no chat cable, nothing else, no wires anywhere. Yes.
Right. The convenience method is enticing for sure. See, I actually, when I play my Xbox, my headset is through my PC. So I do all of my chatting through the PC while I'm playing on the Xbox. So for me, it doesn't matter. But for a lot of people, I think that's a great reason to buy one. So, yeah.
All right. Fair enough. And LTS asks, the E3 rumor mills are churning everywhere right now. What have you guys heard that you believe we'll actually see next month? No Halo. I don't think.
No Halo. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We might see a cinematic.
A teaser. Right.
Because we already know there's not going to be a Halo game this year. That's a 2018 thing. So I feel like we know we're going to see the Scorpio like nobody's business. I don't know. It's.
I will say this. This is an E3 that's really totally in Microsoft's favor, and mostly because, PS4 has already done their launch of their Scorpio, their PS4 Pro. I still don't know how well that's selling, but there's nothing that Sony can really put up in terms of hardware that can get anyone really excited right now. And maybe VR is their thing to do. Maybe they're just going to really push VR software, as well as the hardware. But it's definitely, I really think in Microsoft's favor in terms of what they can announce and really, obviously first party games are going to matter.
Yep.
And we don't know much about what new first party games are coming out. So for me, with Scorpio being on the way and really them needing to announce more first party titles, that's going to be it for me. I don't know. I mean, there's really nothing, I have to say, the rumor mill wise, there's nothing out there that's like, holy shit, this thing's going to drop and it's going to be amazing. Maybe outside of Destiny, but that's really it.
Well, if you're talking Microsoft in particular, I would say Crackdown, they will probably announce, is going to be a game that fully takes advantage of the Scorpio at this point. Because we saw that, 3 years ago at E3 for the first time? And they've been teasing, and it's been in the hopper. We know it's coming out. And if you put that out at the same time as the Scorpio and it's got 4K 60 frames a second, that's going to be fucking baller, and people like those kind of games. And you said VR. Microsoft's already said, yep, we're gonna have a VR offering.
We'll have something.
And I wouldn't be surprised if E3 is the time that we get that first tidbits, and it's gonna be like, hey, on the Scorpio, you're gonna get fucking the best VR experience you can on a console that rivals that of a PC. And that's not actually hyperbole. You could actually, based on the low end of what's required for an Oculus or for a Vive on the PC, the Scorpio definitely is above that.
It beats that. Yeah,
yes.
It beats that. So, yeah, and I'm really hoping it's Oculus. That's my only thing. Because I know Microsoft has obviously been working with third-party hardware and their own to develop. They're actively trying to develop their own VR solution as well. I think at a cheaper cost point, which would be great. I'm really just hoping, though, that people that invested early in VR have the opportunity, myself included, to just be able to plug and play. Because that's the thing is, like, right now my VR system is here in this room. It's certainly big enough to do VR, but I do think like VR is a great thing to show off when friends come over, and it's an awesome experience to have, believe it or not, when there's more people, because you sort of get the fun of like letting them explore VR, and you can watch them explore VR as they're doing it. So I'm hoping the council will bring more of that to the table, because it certainly is missing that element, obviously, because you're sort of stuck in your own world. So it'd be cool, but you never know. But again, I feel like Microsoft has a clear advantage when it comes to what they're going to be able to display at E3 this year. So it'll come down to the games, though. It just always comes down to the games.
Their 8 billion teraflops is going to help, and putting out a system that's more powerful than the other guys, like, here's our dick, and you're like, whoop. And
No, I mean, it's a big deal.
You just need some games to follow up on that.
Yeah. Teraflops don't matter if you're, playing Tetris. So
yeah, exactly.
They've got to get the games, but we'll see. Good question.
All right. Well, awesome questions, Blue and Altius. If any of you have questions, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors. Remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help support Still Got Game. ThinkGeek. Everybody loves ThinkGeek. We all buy stuff from there. It's geeky, cool shit. You love it. You want more of it. So if you're going to buy something from ThinkGeek, instead of going directly to ThinkGeek, go to tiltplay.com/geek, and that is where you will get ThinkGeek's best possible deal. We will have their best possible coupon or whatever automatically linked there, tiltplay.com/geek. We also have the Craft Beer Club. So maybe you want a Beer of the Month club for yourself. Maybe you want it for a friend. Maybe you want it for who knows. Doesn't matter. But if you're going to buy it, instead of going to the Craft Beer Club directly, you go to tiltplay.com/beer, and that will get you the Craft Beer Club's best possible deal at this time. They're going to send you some pint glasses if you're doing a Beer of the Month thing. You're going to get their best possible prices. You can't go wrong. So if you're going to get either of these things, tiltplay.com/geek and tiltplay.com/beer, help us out and you help yourself out. And if you want to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We'll tell us you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Toolplay related at twitter.com/toolplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, got everything that's fucking holy at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
Twitter.com/dudeobrog. Twitter.com/electrify.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool to play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/dudeobrog. Facebook.com/Tiff Nolan.
We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tool to Play. That's the place to find all of Tool to Play's archive video content, whether it's episodes of this show, Still Got Game, best show on the internet, if I must say so myself. We also have old episodes of Thick and Thin with LB and Duty featuring I6 Hitman. We also have Tiff's immature interviews. We also have Hits Quick Hits with Hitman. We also have Hits unboxing videos. We also have a bunch of gameplay that we put up there. So definitely go to youtube.com/toolplay, subscribe, and you can go through our whole back catalog of archive videos. Also, please rate and review the podcast in iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews. We were kind of idiots. Every time we renamed the podcast, we started from scratch on iTunes, and each time it has been a diminishing returns thing. So we kind of need your 5-star reviews. So go in iTunes, search up Still Got Game, give us a 5-star review. And if you've already spent the 1 second to do that, spend 3 more seconds to write something nice. These guys are gods. Love the show. Oh my God, I jerked off to it. Whatever you want to put. Like, people do that. Like, I'm sure I would if I was looking at me. Come on. Or Jay, maybe. But not me looking at Jay. But someone else looking at Jay, they would. And for those of you on the live stream, you just saw Jay jerking off his microphone. But, yeah, definitely go there and give us 5 stars and maybe write up something nice for us. Also, we have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. This is where Tool to Play does all of our live video stuff. So when I'm streaming all week long, probably 2 or 3 nights a week, I stream Destiny. 2 or 3 nights a week, I stream something else. This week, it has been Quake Champions, the beta. Whatever it is, someone on our team is streaming, and all of that stuff ends up going out through the Tool to Play Twitch channel. So you are going to get plenty of content. This show goes out there every week live. Once Tiff brings back immature interviews, that's going there live. Hit has said that he's bringing back Hits Quick Hits, and that will be there live. So go to twitch.tv/tooltoplay and definitely follow us there, and it will let you know when we go live and when you want to watch us. But there's another button there. That is the more important button. It's the subscribe button. So if you go there and click subscribe, you actually help us out. That puts money directly in our pockets and definitely helps us out. And for those of you that are Amazon Prime subscribers, and you are the important people here, because it takes a lot for someone to say, you know, I'll give these guys $5 a month. It really shouldn't, because $5 a month, like, who hasn't wiped their ass on a 5 when they were out of toilet paper, whatever. But if you are that kind of guy that's like, $5 is like $1 million to me. Well, you know what? If you already pay for Amazon Prime, then you are in Twitch Prime. And each month you can pick any one Twitch channel and subscribe to them absolutely free. But it counts as you giving $5, even though you didn't. Like, you're still, I'm not too cheap, but you can still be too cheap, and it's still helping us out. So go there, use your Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime subscription, and you know what? Go back, Tool to Play, subscribe to us there. And the downside is, once a month, you have to redo it. It doesn't auto resubscribe because they're not idiots. They're like, these guys are so dumb, they're going to forget to do it again. So you have to go back once a month and redo it, but definitely do that and help us out. And it would mean a lot to us. And I guess before we finish up, I remind you all, you can join us each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. And on that, why don't we wrap this fucking awesome episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Dark Sage. Joel Dudai Rock Albert.
And I'm Tiffany Electrify Nolan.
I'm Tiffany Electrify Nolan. Wow, she did so good there. All right. Good job producing, Tiff.
I did. You just didn't hear it. The stream heard it, just not you.
That's not even possible.
Yes, it is. Totally possible.
I believe her.
Wow.
Don't you feel like an idiot now?
Not really. Because we kind of need to hear it to know you said it.
I'm like...